For many years, André Rieu appeared to represent a life defined by music, refinement, and admiration from audiences across the globe. To those watching from afar, his world seemed almost magical, filled with breathtaking performances and crowds that responded with endless enthusiasm. Every concert reflected a sense of joy and elegance that made his presence unforgettable. However, beyond the glow of stage lights and the cheerful expressions of his admirers, there existed another side of his life that remained hidden from nearly everyone. For close to 3 decades, the celebrated maestro quietly lived a double existence, one that remained carefully concealed from the public eye. Now that pieces of that reality are beginning to come to light, many of his followers are left shocked by what they never realized. André Rieu was born on October 1, 1949, in the historic city of Maastricht in the Netherlands. From the very beginning of his life, music was not simply something he encountered occasionally. It was a constant presence in his surroundings. His father, André Rieu Sr., was a highly respected conductor who led the MRI Symphony Orchestra. Because of this, their home was always filled with the sounds of rehearsals, conversations about music, and visits from professional musicians. For young André, music was never distant or abstract. It was part of his daily environment, shaping his understanding of the world from an early age. He often watched his father preparing for performances, carefully studying sheet music and directing orchestras with a mixture of precision and passion. These early observations left a lasting impression on him. The house was filled with recordings of classical works, and long before he fully understood their meaning, he absorbed the melodies of great composers. Among the many instruments he encountered during his childhood, the violin stood out more than any other. Its ability to express deep emotion captured his attention immediately. Even as a very young boy, André felt a strong connection to the way the instrument could communicate feelings without the use of words. What began as curiosity gradually turned into a lasting dedication. During the 1950s and 1960s, he began taking this early interest more seriously. Growing up in Maastricht, he started formal violin lessons at a young age. At first, it seemed like simple instruction, but it soon became clear that he had a natural connection to the instrument. With guidance from skilled teachers and encouragement from his father, his abilities continued to develop. As he progressed, André built a strong sense of discipline and commitment. In the Rieu household, music was not treated as a casual hobby, but as an essential part of life. Surrounded by rehearsals and discussions about classical compositions, he absorbed the traditions and culture of the art form almost without effort. Over time, he became increasingly inspired by the works of composers such as Johann Strauss II and Johann Sebastian Bach. Their music, known for its elegance, complexity, and emotional depth, sparked a vision within him. He dreamed of becoming a professional musician who could share such powerful compositions with audiences around the world. By the time he reached his teenage years, André Rieu was dedicating long hours each day to practicing the violin. His focus was not limited to improving technique. He was also developing the emotional expression and stage presence that would later define his performances. He frequently attended concerts and musical events with his father, gaining valuable insight into how professional orchestras functioned and experiencing the unique atmosphere of live classical performances. These experiences played a significant role in shaping both his technical skills and his artistic identity. In 1968, he made an important decision that would move him closer to a professional career in music. He enrolled in formal conservatory training, determined to refine his abilities as a violinist. He began his studies at the Royal Conservatory of Lille in Liège, Belgium, where he entered a demanding academic and musical environment. Students there were expected to achieve both technical precision and a deep understanding of musical interpretation. After completing his time in Liège, he continued his education closer to home at the Conservatorium Maastricht in the Netherlands. This allowed him to remain connected to the influences that had shaped him since childhood while continuing to improve his skills. Eventually, he advanced to the Royal Conservatory of Brussels in Brussels, where experienced instructors pushed him to reach a higher level of discipline and artistic excellence. During these years, André Rieu spent countless hours practicing challenging classical pieces and studying traditional orchestral methods. He developed a deeper understanding of composers, phrasing, and the technical demands required of a professional violinist. The conservatory system exposed him to the strict traditions of classical music, including formal concert environments, structured performances, and a strong focus on perfection. At the same time, these experiences led him to an important realization. While he respected the discipline of classical training, he began to feel that classical music could connect with a wider audience if it were presented in a more engaging and entertaining way. Slowly, the idea formed that orchestral performances could be lively, joyful, and accessible. In 1978, André Rieu reached a significant moment in his personal life when he married André Rieu. Although he was already deeply committed to his musical ambitions, this relationship became one of the most important sources of stability in his life. Marjorie was not simply a supportive partner. She became deeply involved in both the emotional and practical aspects of his career. As his professional responsibilities grew, including rehearsals, performances, and travel, she played a key role in maintaining balance between his career and personal life. While André focused on developing his musical vision, Marjorie often helped manage aspects of his career and ensured that their family remained grounded despite the challenges of the entertainment world. Together, they welcomed 2 sons, creating a family life that remained central to Rieu's sense of identity. Even as his career expanded, he frequently emphasized how important his family was to his happiness and stability. Their support allowed him to pursue ambitious musical projects with confidence. A defining moment in his career came in 1987 when he founded the Johann Strauss Orchestra. By that time, he had spent years performing within the traditional framework of classical music, but he felt that something was missing. While audiences appreciated the music, concerts often felt distant and overly formal. Rieu began to imagine a different type of experience, one that combined high-level musicianship with warmth, joy, and entertainment. His inspiration came largely from the works of Johann Strauss II, the famous Viennese composer whose waltzes once filled grand ballrooms with energy and celebration. Rieu believed that this same spirit could still captivate modern audiences if presented in a more engaging way. With this vision in mind, he formed a small orchestra made up of musicians who shared his enthusiasm. At first, the group was modest in size, performing smaller concerts while gradually building a reputation for its unique style. Unlike traditional classical performances, Rieu encouraged audience participation. Instead of remaining silent, listeners were invited to clap along, sing familiar melodies, and become part of the experience. During the 1990s, his career entered an exciting phase as his popularity spread across Europe. With the success of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, he and his musicians toured extensively, performing in a wide range of venues including theaters, concert halls, and large public spaces. A major factor in his rising fame was the growing visibility of his work through recordings and televised concerts. His albums and broadcasts allowed people who might never attend a traditional symphony to experience classical music from their own homes. Many discovered that the genre could be joyful, romantic, and emotionally uplifting. His concerts became known for their distinctive atmosphere, with musicians dressed in elegant period-style costumes that added a visual dimension to the performances. The programs featured beloved waltzes and compositions inspired by Johann Strauss II, combined with Rieu's energetic conducting and expressive violin playing. These elements created a lively stage presence that set his performances apart. Unlike many conductors who remained distant, he interacted warmly with audiences, breaking down traditional barriers. By the end of the decade, André Rieu had become one of the most recognizable violinists in Europe. In the early 2000s, his reputation expanded far beyond Europe, making him one of the most recognized classical performers in the world. With the continued success of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, he organized large-scale international tours across North America, Australia, and Asia. His concerts often sold out major arenas and stadiums, evolving into large productions that combined music with theatrical elements. As his popularity grew, the scale of his performances increased significantly. His shows began to include elaborate stage designs, advanced lighting systems, and groups of dancers and singers. One of the most memorable aspects was his effort to recreate the romantic atmosphere of historic European ballrooms. Stages were transformed into settings inspired by imperial palaces, with dancers in flowing gowns moving gracefully to the music. During the 2000s, his productions became even more ambitious. One remarkable project was inspired by the grand architecture of Vienna, the historic home of the waltz. At its center was a massive stage designed to resemble the famous Schönbrunn Palace, symbolizing elegance and cultural heritage. The structure included grand staircases, decorative facades, and elaborate lighting, turning each performance into a theatrical spectacle. However, this vision came with significant financial risks. Transporting and maintaining such large-scale sets required enormous investment, and as the tour moved across countries, costs increased rapidly. At one point, the financial pressure became so intense that his company accumulated substantial debt. For a time, this placed Rieu in a difficult position, as the scale of his productions threatened the stability of his business. Despite these challenges, he remained determined to continue sharing his vision. By the 2000s, André Rieu had established himself as one of the most commercially successful classical musicians in the world. His recordings regularly appeared on international charts, often competing with mainstream pop artists. His concerts attracted massive audiences, sometimes reaching tens of thousands, creating an atmosphere similar to major pop events. One of the key reasons for his success was his ability to introduce classical music to new audiences. Many fans experienced orchestral music for the first time through his performances. His approachable style, combined with visually stunning productions, made classical music feel accessible and engaging. Despite his global success, he remained deeply connected to his hometown of Maastricht. Each year, he hosted large summer concerts in the city's central square, Frido Square, transforming it into a vibrant open-air venue. In the 2020s, André Rieu continued to demonstrate the same energy and passion that had defined his career. Even in his 70s, he remained active in touring, recording, and producing large-scale performances. Rather than slowing down, he continued to bring his unique approach to audiences worldwide. At the center of these performances was the Johann Strauss Orchestra, which remained a vital part of his musical identity. The ensemble continued to perform in sold-out venues across multiple continents. Fans from different generations attended his concerts, many returning year after year to experience the joyful atmosphere that had become a defining feature of his shows. What do you think about André Rieu? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next videos.